this week's best MMA bets. We're talking UFC 299. I'm going to give you guys my lock of the week, most confident picks, favorite underdogs, Degen props of the night, parlays, and then a special Draftkings lineup. I haven't done it in a long time, but I said, you know what? For UFC 299, I think I got something spicy that I'm going to drop for you guys at the very end of this video. So make sure you guys smash the likes. If you're new, subscribe. Turn the post notifications on and make sure to share the video as well. We'll briefly talk last week, which really went to shit after Gaziev at the end took a fat L. It was a bad lock call on my part, and I fully take credit for it. I mean, it was a stupid decision to go heavyweight division, which notoriously heavyweights are not good to lock. And then I'm going with a heavyweight prospect that had the Dagestan blood. So I had to have faith he could land takedowns on Rosenstruik, who's shown to be a subpar wrestler. Well, boy, I was wrong on that front. And Jairzinho Rosenstruik boxed him up and defended takedowns for the most part. But it's okay because we start anew. I had a 3-fight win streak going with the locks. I'm ready to clean things up and get back to work this week. And I think I got something pretty nice for the lock of the week. So without further ado, the lock of the week.
Piotr, no mercy!
Piotr Yan over Song Yadong is my lock. I see Yan beating Song. I understand Song's recent wins, and it's got everybody kind of glazing him. Yeah, he beat Gutierrez and he beat Ricky Simone. Piotr Yan has been in there with the who's who, and he's lost only to the best. Controversial loss to O'Malley. Competitive decision loss to Aljamain Sterling. Win over Corey Sandhagen. Yeah, he lost to Merab cleanly, but it's Merab. Merab out-wrestled Cejudo, who's a damn gold medalist in wrestling. I think Piotr Yan is coming back with a vengeance. He's only 31. I think that the blonde hair Song Yadong is going to be worse than. I don't think he's a super fighter. He's not mythical blonde Song Yadong. I think that it's going to be Song Yadong getting outstruck by Piotr Yan, unable to find takedowns. He looked for takedowns in the Gutierrez fight, and he found them. Chris Gutierrez is one of the most timid bantamweights on the roster. He's got exceptional kickboxing, but he loses confidence in himself. He's shooting for Inamari rolls at the end. I think that Piotr Yan outstrikes Song, fends off grappling attempts, maybe even lands trips of his own too. He's just a superior fighter overall. And just because he's lost some fights now, as of recent, doesn't mean to write him off. And I wouldn't even exclude him from the title picture. You look at the odds for this fight, was too good for me not to call a lock. Minus 118, Piotr Yan. Minus 102 for Song. I'm going Yan for the win. Yan opened up at a minus 115, so pretty much even money. I think we're going into the later stages of this fight. I'll say over 2.5, which is minus 275. Piotr Yan to win a decision, plus 135 is my official prediction. But I just like money line straight down the middle. Should win a decision, but I'd rather just straight money line it. That's what the lock is. I think he's snapping the losing streak. He's coming back, and he's beating Song Yadong, who's good, right? And definitely a top 10 staple for sure. But I don't think has the technical skill of Yan. He's definitely not nearly as accurate. He's got some decent punching power and some crazy explosiveness, but he's too wide with his shots. Yan's tighter. He'll land the better strikes. He's this week's lock. Let's talk the most confident picks on the card. We'll bring them up on screen. And this week, I got something special for you because there's a lot of chalky locks in this most confident pick section. They're just ugly lines. You got Mateusz Gamrot, who's minus 455. You have Rebellis to Spain, who's minus 330. And excuse me if the nose leaks at all. I'm a little bit under the weather, but we're still bringing the heat for 299. We got Asu Almabayev, minus 575. But I got an underdog in the most confident pick section, plus 175, Pedro Munoz. I didn't lock him because I do have to recognize, okay, Kyler Phillips, young, reach advantage. Something about Yan just told me to go that direction. But I was close with Pedro Munoz. And I think that he's a quality, confident pick with a beautiful line at plus 175. Now, to go more in depth about each one of these matchups, Mateusz Gamrot, minus 455 is hideous. The money line is not playable, really. But you know what is playable? A parlay piece with Gamrot, the over 2.5 at minus 300, or Gamrot by a decision at minus 145, which I think comes to fruition. I'm picking him to beat RDA on the judges' scorecards. I think that he takes out the OG. We're going with Gamrot. Confident call. I feel good about him beating a nearly 40-year-old RDA, especially in the 155-pound weight class. Now, next one is Rebellis Despain, making his UFC debut. He's got an 86, 87-inch reach. I know his different sources have different lengths. Either way, the dude's a terrifying prospect, and Josh Parisian is trash. The honest truth is Parisian, as far as UFC levels go, is the bottom of the barrel heavyweights. He's out of shape. And he's not athletic. He's tough. He's scrappy. He's got knowledge of the game. He's got a lot of fight experience. But he's going to get knocked out in the first round. Josh Parisian got destroyed by Martin Boudet in a round. Rebellis Despain's going to destroy him in a round. It's minus 330. The knockout prop minus 275. Despain by first round knockout. You can't even get love on that. That's minus 205. Fight's ended in the first round. Despain's winning in the first round. Under 1.5, minus 275, very likely. Despain's got what? 3 straight sub 13-second finishes, all knockouts in all of his 4 wins. Olympic silver medalist in Taekwondo. I know Taekwondo is kind of a shit base normally for MMA, but Rebellis Despain's stand-up is solid, and it's heavyweight. Heavyweight's wide open. Outside of that, top 6, top 7, top 8, you got a little athleticism, bit of power, and you got some crazy reach. You can stop a takedown. You could be a title challenger. Rebellis Despain's on his way. Asu Almabayev, minus 575. Another shit line. But I think he has one of those situations where, honestly, I'm not even crazy about talking the props. I'm torn between decision or submission. Decision is plus 155. Submission is plus 150. Vergara is so damn scrambly on the ground and hard to contain. The dude's quality in the grappling. He's difficult with the hands. I think Vergara could end up going longer here. Over 1.5 is minus 220. I like over 1.5. I think over 1.5 is likely. I like the over 1.5 a lot. So I'm got to get a towel. Hold on. This is what happens, bro. This is like my version of the flu game. It's the flu fight week over here. Lucky I don't got to get in the cage on Saturday. I'm going Almabayev. I'm confident he wins. He's unfortunately just in a shit spot where you probably have to just put him in a parlay, a long shot one at minus 575. But I want to talk about this final of the most confident picks, which was a rarity because normally I just throw my favorite underdogs in the dog section. But I think Kyler Phillips is overrated. I think Kyler Phillips lacks the snap on his punches to outbox Pedro Munoz for 3 rounds. Munoz has power. He dropped Chris Gutierrez. He did really well against Chito Vera. He's plus 175 against Kyler Phillips. I don't understand how. So I have to put it in a most confident pick. Odds to confidence ratio, this fight's out of this world. Probably going over, which is minus 300. Munoz by a decision sits at plus 300. But forget about all that. Your money line is plus 175 range for Pedro Munoz over Kyler Phillips. Phillips is unproven to me. He beat Marcelo Rojo as a loss to Raulian Paiva. It was controversial, though. He didn't lose that fight. It was a draw. But he gassed out. He's got a shit gas tank, and Munoz is ready for a hard 3 rounds. Munoz keeps a good pace. He's got great leg kicks. He's got good punching. He gets inside of people's long reach as well. Guys that control range better than Kyler Phillips. Kyler Phillips is a loose striker. Somebody that beats a Pedro Munoz from the outside is a snappy striker. That's not what he is. Pedro Munoz is going to win this fight. And he is an absolute snipe of a most confident pick underdog here. And I had to mention him. I think he's a great call, especially on this $299 card. Loving Pedro Munoz. Let's jump now to the favorite dog section. We're just on straight underdog picks here. We have 2 of them. It's Caitlin Sermonara, a.k.a. Chukagan, and it is Michael Venom Page. I like the Michael Venom Page call better at plus 110, plus 112 range over Kevin Holland. I have a feeling that Kevin Holland and Venom Page have a fight similar to what we saw with Wonderboy, similar to what we saw with JDM. Not that it's sparring, but at like more of a steady state sparring pace. But Venom Page outstrikes him. I like Michael Venom Page to win. I do think he gets a decision here over Kevin Holland. Holland's pretty durable. Decision win for Venom Page is plus 200. I like Venom Page a lot to win here. Straight money line. I think he's beaten Kevin Holland. He's got a tricky style. I've been excited for the debut. I've been hoping the UFC would sign Venom Page. I've watched majority of his Bellator fights. I was a fan of Venom Page on the come up, and I'm excited to see how he performs here against Kevin Holland. It was a tricky fight for a debut, but it's a matchup that leads him into bigger things, potentially a Wonderboy fight in a battle of karate styles, which I would absolutely love. Other one, favorite dogs. This one, Caitlin Sermonara, Caitlin Chukagan. plus 170. Ladies fight. I like over 2.5 at minus 350. I'm like concerned with my pick here of Sermonara, but it still has to be mentioned because it's an underdog pick. I think she can beat Macy Barber in a hard-fought 3-round fight. I'm not yet sold on Macy Barber. She's definitely got dog in her. She's at a reach disadvantage. Chukagian points fight well from the outside. If she stops takedowns, I think she can win a 29-28 decision. I got to pop out the Zin over here. Let out a damn cough. Holy shit. We're going with Sermonara, underdog. Fight going distance. Like I said, the over is minus 320, minus 350, excuse me. Sermonara by decision, plus 215. Give me win. Give me Caitlin Chukagian, Caitlin Sermonara as a dog, but concerning dog pick. And I'm more confident in Munoz and Michael Venom Page, for sure. Those are my favorite dogs on the card, though. Well, I guess outside from Munoz. He's the true favorite of the favorite dogs. I want to talk more about this Degen prop section. Degeneracy, bringing to the damn forefront. One Degen prop that I want to talk about is not even a prediction. It's Mikhail Jacek by knockout, which is plus 275. Not telling you to go throw the house at it or anything, but I was sitting on this fight, and I'm like, I'm picking Michel Pereira to win. I think he probably pulls it off. But Jacek, he's a tricky fight, man. He's fought a lot of big dudes at light heavyweight. He's a southpaw. Good boxing. He could potentially beat Pereira. Not telling you to really throw down on it, but it's the Degen prop section. So I said I might as well go full Degen and tell you about a pick that is on the opposite side of my own that might be live. Now, Jailton Almeida by submission is an official prediction. That line currently sitting at plus 235. I think he's going to sub up. Curtis Blades plus 420. If you find it at that, you have to play it at plus 420. Another one here that we got, Marina Moroz by sub early in the night is a maybe. I have a feeling that she subs a wash Calderwood. Could go distance, but I like Moroz. Plus 235 to sub her for a second time. This is a rematch. Benoit Saint Denis, Dustin Poirier. Over 1.5 is minus 225. I do think it's going over. Saint Denis to win by sub, plus 165. Saint Denis to win in the third round is plus 700. I'm liking a later stage submission for Saint Denis. I definitely think he could get caught and rocked here, but I feel like he could weather Poirier's storm and ends up getting his hand raised. I'm going with Saint Denis to pull this thing off. Dustin Poirier is going to be tricky to beat, but I'm riding with him, man. I'm going with this side. Now, this one's a little honorable mention. This was actually not written down to be brought up. But Maddalena by knockout, the line sucks. I thought it was plus 350, but I was looking at decision. Plus 165. I can see Jack Della Maddalena clipping Gilbert Burns. I think it's one of those stylistic clashes that give Burns a lot of trouble because Della Maddalena's got good boxing on the inside. And Gilbert Burns, I could see getting rocked, dropped, and stopped by him. Those are some Degen props of the night. I want to talk some parlays because you guys know. The parlay section is the absolute heat. The parlay section is what we want to talk. So let's bring up the parlay section right now. Parlays for UFC 299. Have them written down beforehand. I'm going to keep it considerate and quality. We don't have the Despain knockout line yet, but I do like Despain by KO, but if you got just money line, that's fine too. Rebellis Despain with Mateusz Gamrot, I think is a sure hitter. Around minus 134. It's not a great number, but I think it comes to fruition. Now, if you like the over in this fight rather than the money line of Munoz, plus 123, brings you to the plus money territory. I also really like Munoz in there to give you like a plus 420 range play, which I think has a good likelihood of ending up coming through. I think the chances are through the damn roof that this one ends up happening too. I like Pedro Munoz a lot as an underdog. You guys know it. Almabayev to this lineup, all the most confident picks here. You got plus 528. And then Piotr Jan, plus 1,088. And Michael Venom Page, plus 2,454. Let's clean the slate off a bit. And let's go with Piotr Jan, who's my lock this week, with the side of Rebellis Despain, plus 152. I absolutely love this. Then if you add in an Almabayev, it becomes more worth your buck, right? Plus 200. But let's leave them out. Let's go with Jan, Rebellis Despain, Mateusz Gamrot, And let's go towards the side of Munoz. I think my bantamweight calls are A tier. Plus 890 for this one here. I think it's got a high chance of hitting. Venom Page then at the top, plus 2,000 now. To throw 2 dogs in your slate. If you're leaving Munoz out and you're just going with Petr Yan, Rebellis to Spain, and Gamrot, I don't think it's a terrible call. I think it probably is something that does come to fruition on the card. Something worth mentioning, something worth having touchdown on. I like plus 230. If you want to go like a true savage, Jailton Almeida on your lineup as well. Jailton Almeida, right? With Pedro Munoz, plus 1790. This is something to look at. This is a little crazy, but this is something to look at. I think it could hit. I like it hitting a lot. This Barber and Sermonara fight, which for some reason the odds of the over 2.5 aren't listed. I don't get that, but it's around the minus 325 range. I can't really find anything equivalent to it. What the hell? Well, if you added in the over in this Sermonara fight, I don't think it's a bad idea. These ladies are probably going long. I have over written down in a couple fights. The Yan fight, the ladies fight, even the Munoz fight. I like the over as well if you don't want to throw him in straight in your lineup. After the weigh-ins, we'll definitely unleash some more vengeance with these parlays, but this is what I'm thinking. Pre-weigh-in, I think I'm onto something here with some quality calls. But we're not done just yet. Normally we are. But this week, I'm bringing you guys a Draftkings lineup. Just one. I have not played Draftkings in a very long time. But I like the chances of my lineup coming through. It's Pedro Munoz, Rebellis to Spain, Mikhail Oleg-Jacek, Michael Venom Page, Jailton Almeida, and Petr Yan. I am not picking Michael Oleg-Jacek, but it was a fight that I was tossing and turning on. I could see him pulling it off. And sometimes with these DraftKings lineups, you got to put something down that might not be a pick, but could hit, especially at a good price tag. For Munoz, you got 7,100. For Despain, you got 9,300. He's expensive. With Oleg-Jacek, 7,500. With Page, 7,700. With Jailton Almeida, 8,000. And with Yan, you got 8,300. That right there is the DraftKings lineup to drop. It's a big pay-per-view card, and I said, you know what? We'll do DraftKings this week. I'll bring some little extra heat for the people. I appreciate you all watching. Let me know what you thought of everything in the comments below. Apologies about being a little under the weather, but hey, a little get well soon to me, guys. You got to drop it in the comments to boost my recovery rate so I come in for that damn UFC 299 fight companion feeling 100% myself. Thank you guys all for watching. Love you all. Smash the likes. If you're new, subscribe and turn those post notifications on too. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.